There were 560 people from Michigan in the Boston Marathon, dozens of them from right here in West Michigan. And we have been in contact with a number of local residents. Tiffany and Jeramy Duffield of Greenville are among them. And 24-hour News 8's Joe LaFergie is here right now with their story. Joe?
Sue, I talked to Tiffany less than an hour after that blast. The couple were at a cafe about a third of a mile away.
We had just left the finish line area. We hear this loud explosion and smoke, and then we see people running down the sidewalk and couldn't figure out what was going on until we stepped outside, and they said there was just an explosion.
This is Jeramy's first Boston Marathon. Tiffany was there as a spectator. When we talked to them, they had moved about a half-mile away from the blast to a brownstone they were staying in. It was a surreal discussion. The phone line cut out several times, and you could still hear the response in the background.
We had police officers on motorcycles going down the sidewalk because there was no faster way to get through.
Now, the Duffields are scheduled to fly out of Boston tomorrow morning. We talked in that live report just a few minutes ago about flights out of Boston Logan being grounded. And just on the Boston Logan Airport Twitter site, they are tweeting just in the last couple of minutes, updated information. Flights are departing and arriving from Logan. Please check with your local airline for delays and flight changes. So some conflicting reports on flights out of Boston Logan, but as of right now, according to tweets from Boston Logan Airport, from the actual airport, flights are not delayed, or at least no flights are grounded right now. So a lot of folks in West Michigan, they're now hoping to get flights out of Boston so they can get back home. Back to you.
Okay, Joe, thank you for that. A Kalamazoo runner who just crossed the finish line minutes before the blast is safe. He talked to 24-hour News 8's Ryan Takeo, who joins us live in the newsroom with what he had to say. Ryan?
Sue, good evening. His name is Timothy Socher. He's one of 19 Kalamazoo area runners, and he is safe. He crossed the finish line at about 2:15. That's about 30 minutes before the explosions. He said that he met his wife at the Boston Commons just a couple of blocks away from the finish line when he heard the blasts.
And as we were walking back to our hotel, I heard the first explosion. I looked back. Didn't know if it was an explosion at the time or not, but it sure sounded like one. As I turned to start walking again, I heard the second explosion go off, and I thought that was strange. On one hand, it was really surprising, but then looking back, I mean, in this day and age, with what we live in, I guess it doesn't really surprise me. It's a big event, and if it's, it just seems to be that's what people want to target these days,
Much of our conversation, you could hear sirens blaring in the background as we talked to Socher from his hotel about 1 mile away from the finish line. Live in the newsroom, Ryan Takeo, 24-hour News 8.